Welcome to your May forecast. I have been feeling into the energy of the month of May, and I have been just getting a sense of what's coming up, what to expect, which I'll explain to you during this episode. I will also touch on the key astrological events coming up and go into a little bit about what to expect and how we can work with the energy to enhance the month for yourself, your loved ones. And I'm also going to reveal some of the cards that I've drawn for the month ahead to get a sense of what to expect, and I'll explain their meaning as well. So we will start with the energy. And when I was tuning into the month and the energy of May, I was feeling into what it was that was coming up. And there are a couple of keywords that came up. The first is clarity, and the second is truth seeking. So we'll see this reflected as we go through the astrological events and the cards that are coming up as well. This nicely reflects back in. But what does this mean? So clarity is all about being clear about not just what you're telling other people, but what you're telling yourself, being clear about your goals, your aspirations, being clear about your direction in life, being clear about things that you might be doing that might be holding you back, and acknowledging, becoming aware of any thoughts, any traits, any behaviors that might be holding you back or stifling your expression or your creativity, and just really gaining that clarity. And this month is going to really help to allow things that to be seen that maybe have been hidden, maybe haven't been visible to you before, and you're going to gain that clarity and that insight. Also, this month, truth seeking is coming up. So I like the way these kind of are intermingled. It's not that we have clarity without the truth seeking, they are intertwined and they work together. So truth seeking is the truth about yourself, about your life, about others in your life. When I say truth seeking, I'm not talking about going on a mission to find out some gossip or to unveil some mystery or something like that, or conspiracy theory or anything like that. More so when I talk about these things, it's more so starting from within. So seeking the truth within. What's your higher truth? What is your soul telling you? What is the highest expression of your truth? And being clear about that, and then seeking to express that in your life. So being true to yourself, and this is what's coming up with when we look at the astrological events. There's a lot of things going on this month. Firstly, we have a full moon in Scorpio on the 7th of May. And this is a super full moon, and this one's going to be all about transformation. So as you can see, if we are being called to gain clarity, to that truth seeking, to seek the truth, then naturally it can be a catalyst for transformation, because maybe there are things that you're gaining clarity on that you haven't acknowledged or you haven't maybe been aware of before, and you're now realizing, okay, well, maybe this career isn't for my highest good, or maybe this behavior, this way I've been behaving or conducting myself needs to change. Maybe I need to do something differently. So a lot of transformation coming up with this full moon in Scorpio, and that energy of the full moon will allow you to step into that transformation. So if we go with it, if you've been taking time to seek clarity, to seek the truth, and you have becoming aware and you're tuning in, then when it comes to the full moon, you can work with that energy, you can release, you can let go, you can transform. But if you haven't been spending that time to go within, and this full moon comes along and that energy is pulling you to transform, to let go, to release, but you're maybe not willing to because you're not aware, then that can create this like push pull, and you might find that there's a little bit of struggle or a little bit of what's the word, yeah, just that you're not allowing, you're in that energy of holding on to what needs to be let go of, and you're not allowing the transformation. So when you're in that state, that can create some hurt or some pain or struggle. So being aware is the first step. Being aware, seeking the truth, seeking clarity, and then be willing to let go, be willing to transform for your highest good, knowing that the transformation is bringing you to a better way of being. It's not transforming you for the sake of transformation. It's not the universe's way of just having fun with you and playing with your life. The universe wants you to evolve. It wants you to step up and to step into the next level of your being. So when you're open to that, when you work with the universe, when you're in flow, then it can happen much more easily. So after our full moon, we have a number of planets going into retrograde. So namely, we have Saturn going into retrograde, we have Venus going into retrograde, and Jupiter. So this is going to bring, well, there's a few things it'll bring. Firstly, it'll bring a little bit of an energy of things slowing down. So that can be good and bad. Already, the planet is in a state of slowing down, of rest, of isolation. So that might be, if you're struggling with that a little bit, then that might be the focus on that might be too much for you. You might be thinking, I need to get out, I need to have fun, I need to be with my friends. But go with it, allow it, be in that state of allowing, because it's when we're in a state of resistance that we cause ourselves suffering. It's only when we resist life, when we resist. After all, we can't change the course of the planets. The planets are going to keep going around. They're going to go on their trajectory. We can't change that. All we can do is allow for that to happen and allow for our energy to flow with it. So Venus is known as the planet of love. So you might find that rather than seeing it as your love life slowing down, you might find it as a chance to rekindle your relationship, or if you're single, rekindling the romance with yourself, with your own inner being, and reconnecting with your inner being. So retrogrades can be a chance for reconnecting, going within, getting that clarity that we were talking about, and that truth, seeking that truth. And then following that, we'll have the new moon in Gemini from the 22nd of May. So this is going to bring a lightness, going to bring a release, where we'll have that lovely Gemini energy coming in, and that sense of introspection, that clarity you've been gaining, will be moving on from that. And you might be taking action, or you might be just finding you've released all that stuff and you're just feeling light and free and feeling good. The angel of Gemini and the angel of May is Ambriel. So a lovely angel to work with at this time. If you are drawn to working with Ambriel, I'll explain more in a moment about how you can call on Ambriel to be with you during this period. So there's going to be a lot going on. There are a lot of planetary alignments, a lot of changes, a lot of transformation. And this will lead to big shifts, not just internally, but also externally. So you might see that reflected on a personal level, but also on a planetary level. You might find greater insights, greater clarity. You might find personal shifts on a physical level, emotional level, on a spiritual level. So be open to whatever is coming up for you. It's going to be a really interesting month. And if you're going with the flow, if you're going with the energy, you can ease through it. It's when we resist and when we try and stop the universe from flowing, from being in motion, which of course we can't do, that's when we feel that like push pull and that energy of resistance, which brings that suffering and pain. So I'm going to talk you through the cards that I've drawn for this month, and then I'll explain a little bit about what you can do to integrate this knowledge into your life. So the first card that we have is all about when you're facing a challenge. So I'll tell you what it says. Whenever you face a challenge, ask the universe to give you the best outcome for all concerned. This ensures that no one will profit at another's expense. So this is brilliant. when you face challenge, and with the retrograde energy coming in, there might be things coming to surface, coming to light, that you need to face. And it could be challenging, but if you ask the universe to give you the best outcome from for all concerned, then this ensures that no one will profit from another's expense, which is what the card is saying. So essentially, you're asking for everyone involved for the highest outcome for all involved. So not that you will gain from it and another person will lose, that everyone will gain. And this can be in relation to relationships, it can be in relation to situations, but I love to go back to your relationship with yourself, because that's where everything starts. So what is your relationship with yourself? What is the best outcome for yourself in your relationship to yourself, if that makes sense? Because we all relate to ourselves in different ways, and often we're very heavy with ourselves, we're very judgmental, we are very harsh with ourselves. So if you're challenged in that way, if you're finding that your relationship with yourself isn't as loving, isn't as caring, isn't as nurturing as it could be, then looking at how you can transform that within your life. So at the start of the month, all about if you're facing challenges and how to work with that energy. Then as we move into the middle of the month, the card that I've drawn reads, match your energy to whatever you desire in life. If you want more love, then become more loving yourself. Tune into that love that surrounds you right now. So this is a lovely card. So this is the middle of the month. So we are in the middle of the retrograde energy, and it's saying, like, what do you desire, and to become that energy. So it's saying about love, the example it's giving is about love, to become more loving, to tune into the love that surrounds you. Equally with abundance, tune into the energy of abundance, or it could be health and well-being, tune into the energy of health. I often say to clients, if you're experiencing dis-ease or ill health in some part of your body, often it's one part of your body, it's not your whole body. It could be that it's your joints, or it could be that it is some pain, a back pain or a headache or something else that's going on. But we often just focus on that one thing that's causing the pain. But what you can do is focus on all the parts of your body that are functioning well, that are healthy and that are vibrant and that are good. And you can give thanks for that. You can say, thank you for my kidneys that are functioning and filtering everything out of my body. Thank you for my liver that is detoxing me. Thank you for my heart that is pumping blood, that's circulating. So you can focus on the things that are healthy and well in your body. And when you focus on that, that expands and you have more to focus on, and then you are given more health in return. So focus on what you want more of and become that, essentially. So for the end of the month, the card that we have is about emotions. So your emotions act like magnets, attracting situations that mirror those emotions. If you want to improve your relationships, behave towards others in the way that you would like them to behave towards you. So it's so funny. Often we see faults, or what we perceive to be faults, or in others, and we judge other people, or we say, if only that person could be this way, then I'd be able to get along with them. So what this card is saying is to look inside and behave towards others in a way that you would want them to behave towards you. So if somebody else is being judgmental, rather than you going off and saying, that person's so judgmental, I hate the way they're judging me, blah, 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 and in fact, you're being judgmental about them, you can behave the way that you want. So you can forgive them, you can allow them to be who they are without needing to change them, without needing them to be a certain way. And you can know that you don't have to be affected by their energy. You can hold strong in your power and your energy. I know it's hard, and I know that it's a process. It doesn't always happen overnight. And with certain people, it can be really easy to do. You can just let them go and let them be who they are and not let their energy interfere with yours. With other people, it can be tough. It can be tough to let them go. It could be a loved one. It could be somebody you hold dear to you, but there is something that's triggering you. So this is really a nice card with the Gemini energy and with the new moon coming up towards the end of the month. It's all about, Gemini is about communication as well. It's a lovely, it's a gentle, fun energy, but it's about communication, the energy of the twins as well. So those relationships in your life, just looking at how you can embody the way you would like others to behave, and you embody it and you project that out into the world, and what you send out comes back to you. So that's what you'll receive back in return. So so they're the 3 cards that are coming up, and I promised you that I'd explain how you can integrate this knowledge into your life, because often we listen, and I do this myself. I'll listen to a podcast and I'll think, that's great, they're great ideas, I really like the sound of that suggestion they made, and then I'll go off and I'll forget about it. So in order to integrate this, I want you to firstly take action. So don't just listen to what I've said and then go about your day and forget everything. You have to take action. So the way to take action is to take note of the key dates that I mentioned. So essentially the full moon, which is coming up on the 7th of May, put it into your calendar. And then the new moon on the 22nd of May, put both dates into your calendar and make a commitment to meditate on those dates, to tune in, to connect with your angels, to connect with your guides, and to allow your intuition to speak to you. Make a commitment to honor the energy around those dates and to use it to your advantage. This is your opportunity to tune in and to work with the energy. And then thirdly, spend time in nature each day. Every day, tuning in. What is the wind whispering to you? What are the trees telling you? What is the energy of nature? What does it say to you? And allowing yourself to be replenished by the energy of nature. And when you tune in, when you sit in nature and you tune into what the wind whispers to you, you really enhance your connection, not just with nature, but with your own, with your intuition, with your inner guidance. So make a commitment. May is, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, a beautiful month to be in nature, to be out in the spring blossoms, to be out in the sunshine, and to spend time communing with nature. So take note of those dates, commit to being in meditation on those dates. I know we'll be doing that inside the Fiercely Spiritual Family, my members group, where we meet up live on these dates and we connect and we activate our energy with the angels, and we tune into the full moon and new moon energy, and then spend time in nature. Allow yourself to be in nature and to grow that connection. So I hope you do that, and I hope you enjoy this month, and I will see you next week for our next episode.